it was nice to feel like I made a difference in making like a more type of family. Like we all really loved each other. We loved being with each other. We all wanted everyone to be successful. So that was really nice. And we didn't have any issues with older people, younger people. We were all basically just one and we were united as well as our coaches. So that was really nice. And then as a team, we also became a lot better. And I think that's because we became more of like a family rather than like a bunch of individual players. We really became like one team and we really wanted each other to be successful. And I think probably my last year there, so last fall in 2021, we were playing probably the best soccer that I saw Niagara play. So that was also very nice, just leaving it at like such a high. So that was really good, and I'm really excited to watch them this season too, from coming off such a good season last year.
Welcome me on Anime Media for this episode today. I'm joined by Mackenzie from Niagara University, who's a former student and a former student athlete. And we're going to have a quick chat with her about her experience and what it was like, but also what she's gone and has done post-playing. Welcome, Mackenzie.
Hi.
Great to have you on.
Thank you.
Okay, well, without further ado, let's just get a bit of a background on yourself and your time at Niagara.
So I went to Niagara August of 2016. That is when I was a freshman. I was there for actually 5.5 years after. So I left in December of 2021. I took criminal justice as my bachelor's degree and then criminal justice administration as my master's degree. So the reason why I was there for so long is my freshman year. So my first year, I tore my ACL. So I redshirted that year. And then my fifth year was actually COVID. So we didn't really play much. And then I got another year on top of that. So I was there basically for 6 seasons, but obviously only played 4 seasons plus the COVID one, which was kind of like a half season. And yeah, I loved all my time there. I miss it already. The girls are starting preseason soon, so I envy them that they get to go back, but it was a really good time and I'm happy that's the school I chose to go to.
No, it's awesome to hear that, and it's a shame to hear that, you did the ACL in your freshman year, and then your COVID hit, you just sort of got the short end in terms of things out of your control, but it's great to see that the school and the conference was accommodating and helped you out, and you did get a full 4-year experience, so it's awesome. Looking at the time you spent there, as you said, you had a great time, you enjoyed it, everything was good. Anything that really stood out to you in the 4 or in the 6 years that you spent at Niagara, both on and off the field? We'll start off with off the field.
So off the field, so before going to Niagara, I was up in the air about what program I was going to take. So it was either going to be um, sports management or criminal justice. And I kind of did my research on the type of school Niagara was, and because I'm Canadian, so it's so close to the Canadian border. So I knew that going to do criminal justice, it would still be like it would still work in Canada, which was nice. And then just a lot of the professors that I had within my program are very personal. They kind of will do anything to help you be successful. And they really just make you feel like at home at Niagara. If you need help, they're always there. They're just very understanding. So that was really nice. And it was easy, especially being like your first year, you're really young. That's a lot to jump into at a young age, because I was 17 when I started. So turning 18, but I was still 17 when I went. So yeah, off the field, because we're such a small university, it's a very like close knit group. around campus, especially within the program that you're taking. So that's something that I really liked about it off the field.
No, it's great to hear that. As you mentioned, you know, we did have that support from the staff at the university itself with the program, and that helped you along the way, especially with your injuries and COVID. So it's awesome. And it's quite interesting you mentioned that you had crim justice or criminology in one hand, and then you had sports management. So two very
Hmm.
different sides. Are you happy
Yes.
you went down the criminal justice pathway?
Yeah, I am. I'm very happy. I really enjoyed both my master's and my bachelor's. Um, and by the end of like my schooling, I just like kept wanting to learn more, which I never thought I would say when I was younger. But I really did. I really liked the like substance of the classes, and a lot of the professors have been in the field, like they're ex-cops or they were cops, like lawyers, judges, like stuff like that. They all like have PhDs, are very intelligent people. So you're definitely taught by a lot of intelligent people, which is very nice.
No, that's great to hear that, especially as you mentioned that their personnel with real world experience. They're not just teaching from a textbook. So it makes it so much,
Exactly. Yeah.
especially something like, especially something like in the field of criminology. So if you can have that there, and okay, we can go all day or all night in your
Yeah.
case talking about that. Looking at the footballing side of things, so like you were there for 5 years. How did you find it, and what was that like?
I mean, a lot of people always ask me like, did you like it? I definitely did because I stayed as long as I could. Um, so no, I really enjoyed it. I obviously had an injury when I first got there, so I kind of had to overcome that. And then I had a little bit of issues just getting back with my knee bugging me and stuff like that. So the physical therapy side of it was very helpful. And they deal with a lot of ACL stuff, just in women's soccer and then on top of the other sports there, right? So they definitely know what they're doing and are very supportive. And then on the side of like the soccer part, when I actually came back, it was for me, it was hard a little bit just because I wasn't ever used to being injured or like having to come back from something like that. So there was a lot of support from like the older teammates who had gone through an ACL before as well. And then when I became like a senior on the team, there was girls that were coming in injured or ended up tearing their ACL. So it was kind of nice that I could kind of be there for them and relate to them from what I had been through. And as well as like Peter, my coach, he was very accommodating and understanding of kind of, what somebody goes through when they're injured and out for like a year, basically. So that was really nice. Yeah.
Now, it's excellent to hear that, like we said a little bit earlier, you've got that support around, especially around your injury, and that but also looking at that it was full circle that you were able to help the players out that were also in a similar situation to you, and it's good to always have someone that's been in the same position as you. As might sound negative, but like it's always good to have that kind of reassurance and support. Okay. In terms of the footballing side, like I know we talked about a lot about your injury. How did you find the 4 years over? Sorry, how did you find that 4 year experience? So, like from I know you said you were injured your freshman year, so your sophomore year. As a player till your final year, how did you see the game develop? How did you see yourself change? And what was that like?
So I actually came into Niagara as a center forward. And then after my injury, I wasn't getting the time that I wanted and just wasn't playing as well as I had been before I was injured. So I decided to ask my coach if I could try center back. Um, and I basically, from then on, like I played and started center back, played almost every game. And then my last 2 years, so I say my junior year, but it's not my junior year. It was like my fifth year because I was there for so long. So basically, like my second last year, I was named team captain, which was also rewarding from kind of not playing as much as I wanted to, being injured, playing a position that I wasn't really excelling at, to totally kind of, like you said, coming full circle. I was like sitting on the bench, getting some minutes during a game, but obviously not as much as I wanted to then playing, starting, being team captain. So that was very rewarding. And then just when I first came to Niagara, we were, from what I saw to when I left, like our team just, we became more of a family. When I first got to Niagara, I felt it was kind of very segregated, like the older girls, the younger girls, and there was just a lot of unnecessary drama and stuff like that. As that happens, when you're young, there's a lot of different personalities. But when I left, it was nice to feel like I made a difference in making like a more type of family. Like we all really loved each other. We loved being with each other. We all wanted everyone to be successful. So that was really nice. And we didn't have any issues with older people, younger people. We were all basically just one, and we were united, as well as our coaches. So that was really nice. And then as a team, we also became a lot better. And I think that's because we became more of like a family, rather than like a bunch of individual players. We really became like one team, and we really wanted each other to be successful. And I think probably my last year there, so last fall in 2021, we were playing probably the best soccer that I saw Niagara play. So that was also very nice, just leaving it at like such a high. So that was really good. And I'm really excited to watch them this season too, from coming off such a good season last year.
That's excellent to hear that, and it's also great to hear that the evolution of the program over the last 5 years. But it's brilliant to also see that you've had that impact as a captain, leader, and part of that team, that you've been able to influence it over that period. Where, as you mentioned, it was about individuals compared to now being more about the whole group. That's awesome. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on is, I love the fact that how, the mentality you took as a forward, going, well, if I'm not doing anything up as a forward, I'm struggling, let me try centre back. Just to adapt, not many people go on with that mentality. So it's excellent. Okay. Just before we wrap up, what was, so obviously you finished up last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
You said about,
Just last fall, basically. Yeah.
so you just recently been out. What's the last 12 months been like, post college, post playing? What's that been like for yourself?
So basically, I came home back to Canada. I'm like 45 minutes north of Toronto. So I'm actually not too far from Niagara. I'm like 2 hours around. So I came home. I decided, so what I've always wanted to do is be a police officer, like criminal investigation. That's kind of what my goal is. So I came home. I was debating on going to play professional soccer, but it was a hard decision for myself to make, but I decided that I was going to stay home and just really jump into my career and what I've always kind of wanted to do. Um, so I applied to be a police officer for the Ontario Provincial Police. So I've kind of just been through the process of it, kind of just finished up a couple weeks ago. It took about, I applied in April, and I just finished my interview process like a couple weeks ago. So it's definitely a long interview process, um, which is a good thing. And I'm kind of just waiting to hopefully hear that I'm offered employment, and then if I don't, I will see kind of what goes from there. But that's what I've basically done since leaving Niagara. Um, but yeah, that's I'm happy I made the decision. And it's also nice that I've visited a few people. I've seen Coach a couple of times as well, so it's nice to be close that I can go back and visit everyone.
That's excellent. And look, good luck with the process, and hopefully you do get the job and you can start a new career straight away. It looks like you are definitely passionate about everything you do, so it'll be fantastic
Thank you.
to see you go down the pathway you spent the last 5 years working, and go pursue that. Well, look, thank you, Mackenzie, for joining us this morning, or afternoon. Morning, afternoon, having a quick chat about your time at Niagara. We're absolutely stoked to be following the MAAC and the colleges and just hearing stories like yourselves and just getting to know more about US college soccer, both on and off the field. So once again, thanks, Mackenzie, for joining us, and all the best.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and good luck to you as well.